I think that a lot of people don't talk about death a lot of the time. And to be honest, death is one of the few certainties in life. It's like an inevitable event, a mystery that could be the end of everything or the beginning of something else. It's like we know it's coming, but what happens after death? There are so many things like an afterlife, reincarnation, or maybe nothing at all. But these questions can be terrifying, not just because of death itself, but because of what we don't know. Me personally, I think about death all the time, especially after becoming agnostic. We are certain that death will occur, but we aren't certain about what is to come after death. Maybe an afterlife, reincarnation, consciousness ceasing to exist. There is no answer. This sometimes make me get worried. This sometimes make me sad. No longer seeing your loved ones, no longer seeing your friends, seeing the trees, appreciating nature. It's sad. Approximately 62 people die every year worldwide. And these people have families, these people have friends, these people have hobbies, these people have homes, jobs, religions, and so much more. Death gives an unpleasant feeling. And what's even funny is no one can predict when they will die. That's indeed one of the most troubling aspects of life. I want to talk about the three possibilities of what can happen after death. That is an afterlife, reincarnation, or season to exist. When we look at season to exist, it is a deeply discomforting concept for many, including myself. The thought of one's consciousness just simply vanishing or no longer perceiving is very troublesome. It's so troublesome that you could just be there and you could just be on your bird and be thinking, and you just you just feel this melancholy, you just feel this sadness in you simply by the thought or the idea of not existing after death. This confronts our most basic instincts for survival and meaning. It's not just the fear of death, but the fear of non being, the fear of not existing, just an absolute void. To people or to some people, this idea is okay for them. When they face this idea and they think about it and they process it, that idea or that thought of non existence begins to lose its power by people who are comfortable with living and realizing that maybe after death they will no longer exist. I think to me personally, what's important is if you can learn how to accept impermanence, I think that can help you become better in life or it can help you appreciate life more. Trying to cope with death is a very difficult thing. I think people tend to different things like philosophy, spirituality, religion, creativity, relationships to construct meaning in a world where the end seems inevitable. Some people find the idea that even if individual consciousness ends, they're a part of something larger, a chain of life, memory, or love that continues. For me personally, I still find this very uncomfortable because it's just a hard pill to swallow. It's not that ceasing to exist is the ultimate truth, but the possibility of it happening is very concerning. And it's a very deep thing to feel. There are some people that reject this thought. They reject this idea that ceasing to exist is a possibility. And they tend to believe in reincarnation or an afterlife, which to me, I just see it as a sort of copium, a sort of coping. And some people embrace the idea of karma. Some people embrace the idea of heavens, souls. Other people accept material impermanence. Other people focus on legacy, memory, or influence. And some people even lean towards the beauty of being in the present moment and appreciating life. All this sounds comfortable, all this sound nice, but is it actually the absolute? When we now switch from season to exist to reincarnation, reincarnation is the rebirth of a soul in another body. It's the belief that the soul of a human being is immortal and does not end. So many people or so many religions have this concepts like Buddhism and Jainism. It's a thing people like, dying and being reincarnated into a new body. But it seems like an endless cycle in many traditions, not all though. But the end goal, of course, is to escape it and reach enlightenment. Now, to me, this also too sounds beautiful, but it's bittersweet. You may suffer endlessly and you don't get to remember who you were once before. And in some religions, they also to believe that, of course, you will have memories. But again, that does not line up with reality. And it also too sounds like a it also too sounds like a cosmic reset, not necessarily a reward. Now, some theists or some mainstream theists reject this and believe in an afterlife, like the Abrahamic religions, most likely. The afterlife is basically life after death. There are so many concepts about the afterlife. We have heaven, we have hell, we have limbo, if I do recall. I hope that's a good one. We have also to show well, and all these types of afterlives. But today, we're only going to focus on heaven and hell from Christianity, which these two are the most famous. Now, if we look at heaven, heaven is something that has been passed through generations. It's from a place in the sky to a city of gold to a place in your heart to a new earth. But you get the point. This is a place where Christians believe they will go after death. A beautiful place where there will be no sin and you will live forever. And of course, I used to believe that too. Who wouldn't believe or who wouldn't like the idea of heaven? Because hell was, of course, a very scary place. And if you even look at hell, the definition has been changed so many times throughout history. It went from a place of darkness to a burning furnace to a separation from God, from C.S. Lewis. And I always go confused every time the definitions change. And logically speaking, it makes no sense for a soul to be burning in hell simply because fire is physical and the soul is not physical. But of course, Yahweh is all powerful. But Christians, take it easy. Don't get offended. Please calm down. Me personally, I always hated the concept of hell and the whole idea of burning in eternity. And even if I could be wrong, I just personally don't like the concept of hell. But at the end of the day, these are all beliefs, and all these things don't give certainty. And even though they don't give certainty, people cling to this thing like it's the absolute truth. These beliefs make people not think about death a lot. And I'm not saying you should go home and always think about death, but I think this idea of afterlife, this idea of people being certain that there is something out there after death when it's not proven, it's a little bit dangerous. For some, strong belief in an afterlife can sometimes lead them to overlooking the value of this current life, the beauty of the present, the people around them, and even the moments that matter. People live lifestyles, they restrict themselves, they end friendships, all in the name of this possibility that there is an afterlife. And to me personally, it is indeed very, very sad. I don't want to shame people who believe in the concept of an afterlife, but I personally think that one should not cling towards this idea of an afterlife. And I personally think that this, indeed, or this thought of an afterlife is holding people back from appreciating what is in front of them, what is certain in front of them. That is the people, the loved ones, life itself. I do have a lot to talk about religion, and maybe later down the line, I will talk about religion depending on the performance of this video. And I will try my best to make sure that I will, of course, talk about gaming and other subjects. But the concept of an afterlife is indeed holding people back. And I believe that because of this, so many people tend not to appreciate life itself and always think about this afterlife that's going to come. That is whether it's heaven, hell, or even reincarnation. So, to make this very, very short, since death is certain and we do not know what is there after death, why not just start to appreciate things that are certain in front of us? Our families, our friends, our loved ones, our puppies, trees, plants, McDonald's, your jobs. Why can't we appreciate them? We may never know what comes after death, but what we do know is what's here, this moment, these people, this life. So let's not just waste our life clinging to a maybe, and let's actually appreciate life.